All right, so we are going to replace the battery for my MacBook Air. I'm just gonna shut it down. So I guess what happened was that I kept the laptop. I had removed the energy saver settings, and I kept the laptop running for days together without removing the charging cables. So what Apple said was, most probably the cells of the battery, expanded, and that's why I'm getting lower efficiency from it. I still get 2.5 hours of battery life per full charge, but it's dramatically down from the 7 hours that I used to get before. So anyway, so what I did when I went to the Apple store, it was going to cost me $130 to replace the battery. So I said no. I said no, maybe 2.5 hours is good. But then I came back and I looked up online, and I saw a lot of batteries from $25 all the way up. So I went to Amazon and looked at the ratings. Got so Anchor seemed to have good rating, and they come with 18 months of warranty on their batteries. So I ordered that, and what I got was a battery for the MacBook Air mid 2012. Now the this thing comes with two screwdrivers. These are needed. These are like a little special screwdrivers. One is needed for the 10 screws that are there on the back, and then the other one is needed for the 5 screws that are going to be holding the battery down. So let's take that out. Now, it obviously this is not for anyone who has not opened up the MacBook, not opened up any computer before, because what essentially Apple has done is, if you see what a normal battery for a laptop looks like, which is removable, it's got a hard casing. So this battery is not going to have a hard casing, which is why they recommend not opening it, because if you prick it with the screwdriver by mistake, it might cause a spill inside the laptop. So you have to be careful. That's all. So anyways, we'll get started. I'm going to use one of the screwdrivers so I have a 1.2 and a T5. I think the 1.2 is the one I use for these screws. Yep. All right. So just gonna remove. This is the boring part. These screws are really tiny, so I have to be very careful, because wow, if I lose one of these, it'll be hard to find them. So another reason why my battery drained quite a bit was because, very interesting, but my contacts application actually was trying to sync up a few contacts, and my iCloud settings were messed up. So it kept on trying to sync them up and kept on consuming a lot of battery, kept on running the fan at high speeds. So there was a process called SOA agent that kept on running all the time, using up to 94% of the CPU power. So what I did was I basically turned off contact syncing for iCloud, and the process stopped working, or stopped running, and the fan stopped running continuously. But then I guess it caused its own damage to the battery. Alright, so almost down now. 8 of these screws are very tiny. These 2 screws, more close towards the black tape, are supposed to be a little longer. So one of the advantages of YouTube is that you know what you're getting into beforehand. Alright, so now I place my 2 fingers beneath, and it should just come off. Alright, this is it. So as you can see, the battery makes up a significant portion of the MacBook Air. Wow, It's crazy how much the battery takes up. All right, and the MacBook Air doesn't really have a lot. Okay, so I am just going to clean this up. All right, so now we're going to use the other screwdriver to remove the 5 screws here. Oh, interesting. How did a hair get in here? Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5th screw in the middle. So let's remove those. Okay. Alright, so point to be noted, it's not the 2 silver screws, it's these black screws. I don't think those silver things are screws at all. They are just they're where the external screws kind of drill into. Okay. Alright, so remove the 4. Now comes the 5th. Okay. Alright, so now what we have here is a little plastic kind of tape. So what I do is I hold it and pull it towards me. That's it. So now the battery should have got detached. Here it is, coming out. Alright, so this is the battery. Okay, so I'll keep it here. Now let's open up the new battery. So these batteries have a capacity of about 6,000 odd milliamp hours, and a cycle count of about 1,000. So my cycle count had gone to about 400, but or 420, but more. So my milliamp hours were like only 4,000. That was the max it could charge to. All right. So what I want to do is compare. So what you'll notice here is the model. I'm looking for A1405 because that was the model that the old battery had, and it says that, yeah, A1405. So I've checked to ensure that I'm using the correct battery. Alright, so nothing here, frankly. I mean, if you, wow, this becomes quite light. But this is it. I mean, if you look at what the MacBook Air is, it's literally just this. There might be something, I don't think there is much here, but that's it. I mean, that's a drastic reduction from the type of PCs we used to assemble back in Mumbai. You know, but yeah, this is it. Just gonna remove a bit of the dust here. Okay, all right, so let's put the new battery in, place it here. So connected the battery in there, and that's it. I'm just gonna screw it back on. I think we should be good after that. So small screws go here. these screws are really tiny. So okay. Okay, so the small screws go at the bottom. And the three tall, longer screws go at the top and the middle. Makes sense because the MacBook Air body kind of tapers forward. Oops. Okay, alright, so time to put the cover back on. As we said before, the tall screws go at the top. Use the other screwdriver. So now the question is, what do I do with the old battery? Luckily, first New York State requires you to dispose of the battery correctly, not put it into garbage. It's actually a law. And there are some, there are websites that tell you who will collect battery for you. So there's Staples. Staples allows you to turn in your own old battery and they dispose it off for you. So I'm gonna do that at the Staples, just a couple of blocks from me. It's always debatable, right? I mean, you have like your battery still gives you 2 hours worth of usage, but do you keep that, or do you want your Mac back to its full operating capacity? Just because it's such a nice machine, you don't want to use it at a lower capacity. You're traveling in India, you don't have any charging points, then you want something above 5 hours of battery life. So apparently you need to you're looking at replacing your battery every 2 to 3 years depending on your usage. I also tend to use the Mac to watch a lot of videos, so that was another reason why my battery got used up. Got it in 2012, so yeah, there has been a fair amount of usage. One good thing about the MacBook Air is that since it's got a flash drive, there is no moving hard drive, so that's not using up your battery. Alright, okay, let's see. Moment of truth.